It is the essence of humanity. And it should be, because we are the oldest people on the planet. Welcome to our Kwanzaa event this afternoon. It is an honor and pleasure to see you. I am your host, Reverend Nettie Paisley. I'm also a Reiki master and a social entrepreneur. I'm very familiar with Sisters Uptown Bookstore. I've had meditation sessions here, and we will have a meditation session today because relaxation is something that we deserve. So we're going to get started, and let's take a look at this label. What does it say?
Black Lives Matter.
Say it again.
Black Lives Matter.
One more time.
Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely. And as a community, we have to believe that, embrace it, and pass it on to our children. This wonderful sister is Akila, and she's going to help me with the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. I will explain Kwanzaa in detail. I just wanted to start off with the 7 principles. The 7 principles are called Nguzo Saba. The first principle.
The first principle is Umoja.
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 To strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Thank you. Unity. United as one. During the 1960s, Kwanzaa was created by a professor, and the reason it was created in California was because of the largest riot in this country. The riot, of course, was based on what? What was the riot based on? Racial discrimination and law enforcement. All right, this was in the 60s. This is 2019. The more things change.
That's right. That's right.
So once we understand that and embrace that Black Lives Matter, we become a united force. Not to hurt anyone, but to empower ourselves. Does that sound logical?
Yes.
All right. So that's why we're here. We're gathered here today to honor these 7 principles, to open up our consciousness and understand that we are survivors. We are not victims. So we're going to look at the next principle.
Kuchichagulia. Roll call. Kuchichagulia.
Kuchichagulia.
Make it easy, make it sound like music. Kuchichagulia.
Kuchichagulia.
Self-determination.
Self-determination.
To define ourselves. Name ourselves.
Name ourselves.
Create for ourselves.
Create for ourselves.
And speak for ourselves.
And speak for ourselves.
These are things that we have to make a commitment to do. Kwanzaa is basically a Black American celebration coming out of slavery. So some of you have heard about the 1619 Project.
Yes.
Does anybody understand what that is? Not understand what that is? The 1619 Project. Okay, there are people who don't understand what that is. It is honoring the 400 years of survival in this country from 1619 to 2019. 400 years. When you allow that to digest in your body, mind, and spirit, you know we are survivors. You know we are survivors. I have a young lady here who came up to me bragging about taking her DNA test. Habarigani, Barbara? Habarigani is what is the news?
Good afternoon. Good morning.
Barbara, come on so I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to share that. I did take the ancestor test, the DNA test. I did it because I wanted to know more about my history, and I wanted to make sure that my daughter and my granddaughter would know where they actually came from. When I took it, and I got my results that I am Nigerian.
Okay.
And my tribe is the Yuba tribe.
All right.
So now I have to do more research, of course, to find out more. And I'm so proud for knowing that I am actually 98.9% of Nigerian.
All right. Yes. 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 That's so meaningful.
There's nothing like the feeling you get when you know your origin. Your last name may be on your birth certificate, Smith, Johnson,
Please.
whatever. But deep inside, once you take that test, you do your research and you'll find out your real name was
Niwusu.
whatever it was, and trace your family lineage. It is so fulfilling to do that, because right now your existence is based on someone else's definition. That has to change.
Yes.
And each year that we have Kwanzaa, wherever you go to celebrate it, however you celebrate it, always keep that in the front of your mind, not the back. Akela?
Roll call. Ujima.
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 Some people say Ujima.
Right. Ujima.
Collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together.
So here we are in Sisters Uptown Bookstore. If you turn around, you will see that going on, collective work and responsibility. From sisters who came in to volunteer and help, this occasion come together, including Sister Akila.
Who's ready to party?
Okay, our next principle is Ujama.
Ujama, cooperative economics. To build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses like Sisters Uptown Bookstore and Cultural Center, and to profit from them together. Ujama. Ujama. Ujama.
Ujama.
Now, Ujama is critical. This is our weakest point. We control less than any other group of people of color who came after us to this country. The difference is that they came freely, other groups of people. Those of us who were stolen from Africa were forced here. We had a period after slavery called Reconstruction. During Reconstruction, we built what they call a Black Wall Street. We had everything. Banks, hospitals, insurance companies, etc., etc., etc. We had a community that was thriving and surviving. What happened to Black Wall Street? Okay, somebody's volunteering the information?
They stripped it from us. They burned it down.
Yes.
Yes. Now, when you say burn, baby, burn, that's what they did to Black Wall Street. And since then, it's been a challenge for us to rebuild a Black Wall Street. But we must open our consciousness and start working on that. Okay, so let's examine your black track. Your black track. Think for a minute. How many businesses that are black owned? I'm not talking about vendors. I'm not talking about vendors. How many black owned businesses do you support daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever? You actively support. Just think about it for a minute. Okay.
To a corporation.
This sister said none. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's take the hair care industry. $1 billion in hair care profits go to folks outside of our community. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, and recently we had an incident with a nail care salon. I don't know if you heard about it in Harlem. Okay. Now, this was in Flatbush. A woman went in who was a regular customer to get her nails done. She did not like the outcome. And because she didn't like it, she didn't want to pay for it. And she wanted to leave. The owners locked the door and pretty much assaulted her. There was a boycott for about 3 or 4 months. The store is now out of business, but there are stores lined up on Flatbush Avenue, Nostrand Avenue that are still doing business from the people with the same ethnic background. So why are you going in there? The same thing with the hair. If you wanted to open a hair care business on a significant level, you cannot, because another group of people have locked it. So you can't buy wholesale. Wholesale is when you buy something at a cheaper rate and then you increase the price for a profit. During Black Wall Street, maybe up to the 60s, we had black banks, black insurance companies. But again, because we did not support them the way we should have, they're basically gone other than carve federal savings, which is being monitored by Chase Bank.
Oh, God.
Okay? That's why history is so important.
Pathetic.
Google needs to be your friend. The library needs to be your friend. Sisters Uptown Bookstore needs to be your friend. The more you know, the higher you can go. Our next principle is what we'll call NIA. Nia. I know most of us know somebody named Nia. Right? Nia. Okay. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Nia. All right. For those of you who are old enough, you remember the word hustle?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. Now, back in the day, you hustled legally. You weren't selling drugs.
That's right.
You were hustling to make $1 out of 50 cents. And a lot of times it happened. And back in the day, we had children, 5, 6, 7, 8, some people 10. Starvation wasn't necessarily an issue because we figured that out some kind of way. And guess what? We ate naturally, pretty much, other than maybe some of the meat. Now, if you're old enough to remember, talk about recycling, there was a jar on the stove, and you were forbidden to throw that jar away because the oil to fry that chicken, neck bones, whatever, was recycled over and over again. Okay? So when I remind you of all of these things, why are we so up into whole food? Not that you shouldn't go, but I'm just saying, there are small stores in the area of any black community that offer health food or healthier food. All of these things, again, think about as you re-examine your black track. Your black track.
And the next principle is roll call. Kuumba.
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 Kuumba means creativity. To always do as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Now, we all know no one in the planet can be more creative than us. Okay? When we decide that we're going to dress up, it's done. And it's done very well. And as time has gone on, other folks have realized that, and they're beginning to dress up. And a lot of that creativity is coming from where? All right. I can feel the pride rising in you. That pride. We must always be proud. Because respect is earned. It's never given.
And our last principle, roll call, is Imani.
Imani.
And we all know somebody named Imani. Imani,
Imani.
which means faith. To believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and the victory of our struggle. Imani.
And when we are happy in agreement, we say, Ashe.
Okay, okay.
Ashe.
All right.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Kwanzaa is a celebration of survival. How and why we must continue to do so. And these 7 principles guide us through our survival strategies. As we move on, each year our Kwanzaa gets more insightful. We begin to think about how we can apply these principles on a daily basis. And now Kwanzaa has become a commercial success. Even Hallmark has Kwanzaa cards. Our colors are red, black, and green. Red is for the blood that we shed. Black is for the skin color, the people. And green is for the land.
Earth, Mother Earth. That's right.
Mother Earth, the land. But as green comes to mind nowadays, it's called gentrification.
Oh, God, please.
Because of our land loss. Yes.
And some people say ethnic cleansing.
Yes,
Ethnic
that's
cleansing.
right. She nailed it.
All right, well, that's getting deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's explain it. Because a 3-bedroom apartment, I don't know about Harlem, but in Brooklyn, in certain neighborhoods within our community, it's $5,000 a month. And sometimes you look at it and you say to yourself, what? How is that possible? In Brooklyn, we have this street called Franklin Avenue. And we used to call it a bucket of blood. And now Franklin Avenue has apartment buildings, condos, etc., that are too expensive for us to even consider. So when we say this is amazing and they won't and they can't, etc., and so on, it's up to us to make sure we put ourselves together according to the 7 principles and our natural ability and change that. 125th Street looks so different. So when I come up to 125th Street, sometimes I have to say, where am I? We had the Black Wall Street during the 1920s. Why can't we bring it back? Slowly but surely. Because when we bring it back, it's going to have to be a little different. So that means we have to increase our knowledge of economics, financial literacy,
That's mine.
etc. We need to know what we have to do to make money and how we can make money grow. So we need to look in the stocks, bonds, things where we put in our money and it gives us a profit higher than, 2% interest at the bank. We have work to do. And like everything else, we can do it. So we are going to have our prayer and then we're going to move on. Okay.
Ago. 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 So, at this point, actually, in order to open up the way, traditionally, the first thing we do is to pour libation.
That's right.
The first thing we do, we have to do that. That's in traditional African societies, that's what we do before we do anything else. So before we can continue, we have to take a moment to acknowledge the ongoing presence of our ancestors. Without them, we do not exist. We know that there are those who have the audacity to attempt to refute the existence of a creator, but no one can refute the existence of their ancestors. Because if you ain't got no ancestors, you ain't here. It's that simple. So, in pour libation, this is a symbolic act, a way of giving back to that which produced and gave us what we have as life and everything that we can utilize in order to maintain our sustenance and our ability to build. All of the materials that we use to build houses.